We are.
We are
Peace
on.
and peace and love, family. All right. This is what year? What is the day? It's July 18th in the alleged year 2020. I say alleged because we do not know anything. So, yeah, me and Chris are gonna discuss immortality, but actually human immortals that live on the planet. You know, it's not a topic that's widely spoken about throughout the human the human family. You know, and then again, you know, when you watch movies and stuff, they make it seem like it's fantasy or, you know, usually it's in sci-fi. But there have been references to immortals, that human beings that don't die, you know. And interesting enough, there's a show that came out this year in 2020 called The Old Guards. Not sure if any of you guys seen it. But it's about five human beings, immortals that don't die, and the government is trying to kill them, but they can't kill them. All right. Now, me and Chris was having a discussion before this podcast, and, you know, just wondering, like, think about it. If you were a 500-year-old or 1,000-year-old human being, you wouldn't tell anyone. You wouldn't you wouldn't say anything, you know? So especially with what we talk about with cultivating energy, urine therapy, you know, even breatharian, we're actually waking up to see that the universe is kind of like this. How do I say? It's like this organic technology, right? And I was telling Chris, for example, you see like how when we just look at the secondary technology, the AI, the ones that we're using, like the iPhones, the computers and stuff like that. Notice that the whole purpose of having technology is to always upgrade it, always perfect it. We look at the iPhone 2, iPhone 3, iPhone 5, 3G, 4G, 5G, okay? It's constant perfection that's taking place, right? So is it safe to say, beloved brothers and sisters, that the universe or the cosmic intelligence, there are transmissions, solar transmissions, raining down on our planet, whether it's from constellations, whether it's from the gods, the alien, I don't know. Again, I don't know. But what I do know is that there's a signal that's being broadcast on the planet that is constantly working to upgrade and perfect your avatar. This is what I do know. This is not what I believe. That's why I notice, family, when you go on a fast, right? What is a fast? It's simply a mode of allowing, right? You're not consuming. You know, even a mental fast, you're not thinking. You're just focusing on the breath, and you feel this cosmic energy come into you, right? When you get good at meditation. So a fast is indicating that you are speeding up a process that's already taken place. It's something, it's an intricate process, okay? An automatic process within us that's building us back to immortality. So when you look at disease and you look at all these things, even look, let's make it really interesting. Now, there is I don't know how true this is. I'm gonna have to experience it for myself, but I once read that mosquitoes you know, they take out the lifeless elements of the blood, and the more contaminated you are, the more mosquitoes would bite you. And then it's the same thing for like wild animals. There have been people that apparently had exuding amounts of loving energy, cosmic energy, that weren't parasites, and the animals and insects weren't attacking them. All right. So I'm starting to wonder, this world seems like it can be parasitic, but for example, if the mosquito is only taking out lifeless elements of the blood, then you have to think, is this a loving universe that is just pushing you to expansion, and that we are just working against the grain, okay? We are stopping a flow, hence the blood gets sluggish, the lymphatic system gets backed up, right? So we're stopping a flow. So when you start to allow this flow, the whole concept of immortality starts to wake up. Because at the core, a human being is unlimited amounts of cosmic energy, right? So interesting enough that I did meet someone that spoke about, that they met humans that don't die. We talking about 300, 400 years old, wasn't wrinkled, didn't have signs of aging. So this is a topic of discussion that we should at least look into, family, and Chris, I'd love for you to hop on,
Yes,
words.
I shall hop right in. uh, well, we're just getting started here, man. It's overwhelming. Uh, I don't even know where to start, man. The crazy thing is how the reason we die is our conditioning, and and what we put into our body. There's a physical reality. And man, if I was just to narrow it down, if I was coming up to someone and I had like 1 minute to tell them, hey, you can live forever, you can live as long as you want, the first thing I would say is do not consume sodium chloride, which is every inorganic salt out there, all of it, all the processed stuff. Even that Bragg's aminos, unfortunately, tastes so good, not so good for you. They use an acid to remove the aminos from the soybean, which probably is not GMO based on that company, but I don't know. I'm not there. But that's how they remove the salty flavor basically from the soybean, and it becomes sodium chloride in that process, which is absolutely toxic to your body. You might as well be, it's not going to kill you right there. However, the old samurai warriors used to carry a little pouch of salt around with them in case they were captured. They would rather die than be captured, and I can actually I can resonate with that. But they would off themselves using a pouch of salt. So if they could do that with a pouch of salt, just think of what we're doing daily when we probably have a pouch worth of salt in our 3 meals, our nutrition that we need so bad every day, supposedly. That's it for right now, dude. I'm looking up some stuff here. I'm getting some stuff on the screen so we can reference. What do you think of what do you think of cemeteries being located right alongside the road or highways? Is that just the way they did things because it's convenient for people, or maybe because they want to remind you as you're driving around that, hey, your day's coming? coming,
Yeah,
coming soon.
Chris, that is, as you get the resources together, that is really a great point that you made. And I've never thought about it like that, because, when you look at the cemetery, you look and, okay, that's the fate, that's just my fate. And it hits your subconscious. Now, what people may not quite fully understand is that the physical body is the subconscious body. And the reason the physical body perishes is because others have programmed our subconscious body. And even though we may not consciously even look at the cemetery or pay attention to it, our subconscious body will download that in. Even if you, for example, when you go in a food store, they have magazines that are placed specifically right at the register. They have candy bars, they have sodas. All these things have certain colors and certain hidden messages in them. So it's almost like, Chris, we are completely bombarded, okay, with subliminal messages, all right, that are geared towards us wasting away our energy source. Because remember, family, all of this is about you managing your own energy source. We're not talking about good and evil. We're not talking about, the main thing to understand is that maybe through the series of incarnations that took place, we started to create a beast, okay? So when they talk with the mark of the beast, that's something that you've developed and you're nurturing, okay? Now it's time to look within and see how this beast that can only live in the 3rd dimension, hence You could call them parasites, which are more like 3D creatures living inside you, right? But understand, a parasite can't really do anything to you until you are in a compromised state, okay? So parasites are not the problem. It's the pre-existing condition. Notice this, family. And Chris, I'm just going to bring it up viruses. Obviously, this is not like a virus topic, but when it comes to them saying, okay, even with the COVID-19 thing, if you type in Google, they say that it's deadly for people that have pre-existing, okay, medical conditions or pre-existing disease. So right off the bat, they're telling you that the cause of disease is not a virus, all right? The cause is the condition. So what appears for a virus to be spread is actually two people having the same toxic condition. And it seems like, okay, for example, there's certain periods and times when nature will cleanse, okay, the collective, or have a cleansing period. Like if everyone went to Thanksgiving and ate the same crap, right? And all of us around us, our bodies are highly in tune with each other and communicate with each other. And basically there is a signal in transmission broadcast on this planet that keeps this planet balanced, that keeps the plants growing, that keeps a perpetual immortality, okay? Now, my claims in understanding this is that the cold season, the flu season, all of these are nothing more an indication of nature trying to continue to upgrade us and get the toxins and the mucus. All the mucus also has trauma that's attached to it. So you are not, the funny thing is, you are so powerful that you can't even stop your own spiritual progression, evolution. You can't even stop it. You're not even allowed to stop it.
That's funny.
You know? Yeah, you're not allowed. If you try to, you suffer. And then what happens? You lose your vehicle. Hence, you crash it. So for example, if I buy a pair of pants, okay, 2 pair of pants, one to work in construction, the other one to just kind of go out and shoot the shit, you know, have fun or whatever, dress up. Now, the pants I bought for construction, in 4 months, you would think like, dude, you had those pants for like years, huh? Because of the damage that was done to it, right? Then you have the other pair of pants that you don't wear like, only on occasion or when you go out. You look out for those pants, and you could have those pants for a long period of time and it would still look new, right? So we've been hoodwinked into thinking that aging is a natural process when it's, again, just like with my book. The name of my book is The Abused Avatar that I'm putting out in September. It's
Nice.
just the abuse that we do to the avatar, but we do not realize that the colds, the flus, the seasonal allergies, all of these things are nature's way, the divine intelligence way to expand our consciousness. It is not something attacking you. It's not a virus attacking you. No, it's not. All right. So when we start to see that, the suffering is just when we transgress so far from our true nature. And then disease is the calibration of bringing us back to our true nature. So
yeah.
And Chris,
Bro.
you were gonna bring up Leonard or you were.
Yeah, I wanted to bring up something before that, and then something before that.
Okay, no problem.
I remembered what I was trying to remember that I thought of yesterday, another thing that they condition us with. Everybody knows the term, he or she died of natural causes. There are no natural causes of death. You were going to say something, Mark?
No, listening.
Okay. Yeah, man. No, and if you want to throw something, because I know I'm going to get a better mic here, people that are listening. it's not cheap.
Chris, I can hear you really fine though. I can hear
Oh,
you
can
really
you?
Yeah.
Okay. I just think I want to step up the quality on this because I've listened to it and I know my voice is better than what this little microphone is giving me credit for. And it's probably going to be easier to listen to. But anyways, that's just me. I'm picky. Died of natural causes. Not true. But what I wanted to say, Mark, is if you want to throw something in, dude, let me know because if you think of something, throw it in because to me, this is the most important thing for us to know right now is it's because we're dying as ignorant babies. We live, I'm just going to say 100 years, okay? And people brag about that. My grandfather lived to be 100 years. And now I'm like, big fucking deal. Like, so what?
Yeah.
You smoke and you eat like shit and still live 100 years because the body's tough, man. Tough with the shit we put it through. It's amazing people live 100 years with the stuff they do to their bodies, or even 80, or even 10, even a year with some of the shit people dump down their throats. That I've dumped down my throat, man. Most of us have, actually, early on because of our conditioning. But once you know, what are you going to do with that info? But anyways, so the term died of natural causes, that was something I thought of yesterday after I thought of also when they tell us there's nothing certain but death and taxes. And then there's these other sayings that I've always heard when you're eating healthy. I've heard Christians say, it doesn't matter. You're going to die when God wants you to. Everybody has an appointed time and this and that. And I say, nope, I don't think so. You're going to die based on what you do and what you think. Plain and simple. That's when you're going to die. You're going to die when you make it happen. And you're going to subconsciously make it happen if you don't know what we're talking about here. Because this is what's been hidden big time. Besides the salt secret, and I know we're going to do a podcast on salt. If anybody wants to hear us do something on salt, comments below. But definitely salt is the killer that makes sure that you die on time. And even the most ardent vegans, health food, anybody, I don't care who they are, how healthy they are, they all think they need to consume salt to live. And when you figure out what our cells really are, and you know this deep down, then you know that we don't need to eat anything to live. And salt, especially, I'm not even mentioning the food, but the salt assaults you. It literally assaults you. I mean, dude, it's unreal. I mean, put it in your eyeball. Put it in an open wound.
Wow.
That's what it's doing to your cells inside.
Wow. That makes sense.
Yeah, man, it's powerful shit. So yeah, died of natural causes. They want you to think it's natural that you're dying at 80 to 100 years of living. So they want you to live for, what, you work until you're 65. Now it's 70. It used to be probably younger, who knows. But you retire, quote unquote. Hardly anybody can retire anymore. There's no retirement. There's no anything for people when they're done. Jobs are a joke. But, you work for, let's say, 70 years. So now you're 70 years old. Most people, based on the averages, are going to die within 15 years of that, roughly. I know I'm off by a few years, probably, one way or the other.
So, Chris, I want to add in, this is pretty deep. When you said, okay, work is, even, work, I'm going to be honest, family, okay? This is not a popular opinion, but it's true.
Mark, are you going to start being honest right now? Is that what you're telling me?
No, how I feel about the workforce, I mean. Like, have you ever watched the Chris, you funny. Have you ever watched the light bulb what it was, the light bulb documentary. It was basically about this light bulb, Chris, in this fire department. I don't know which state in America, but it's been burning for over 100 years. Did you see that?
No. Mm-mm.
Bro, this light bulb, still up to this day, is still working. Okay?
Really?
Still working. Yes. I gotta find that. That's a podcast in and of itself. Now,
Yeah.
what they did was they reverse engineered to where the light bulb would go out. Okay? And you would have to keep buying light bulbs. Now, family, this is only one thing, one invention.
Mm.
All inventions on earth that have been put through the satanic order, the cabal, that what they do is, see, family, the world that we live in has been manufactured by secret societies that want us to be automatons. They want to engineer scarcity, not abundance, not unlimited abundance of energy, but also scarcity, only scarcity. Even when you look at oil-powered cars, okay? They only introduce oil-powered cars because they could control oil. So think about, with the light bulb, think about everything else. Okay, think about the AC, think about the household appliances, think about things that just randomly go out. These things, family, seem to be engineered to be that way. And then think about the workplace, the technicians that go out and fix it. They say this is to what? Move the economy. But if you work 40 to 50 years of your life fixing something that was designed to be broken in order to funnel finances to the same few families, what real purpose is that work? You start to see that they've engineered an illusion so you could waste time. And by the time you get in your, when you retire, when you're used up, you've wasted all those years not learning self-knowledge. You've wasted time learning not, and again, I'm also a technician. I've been a technician, not throwing you under the bus, but just understand this higher order of thinking that what if this was a design to distract you from self-knowledge and to have you in survival, right?
Powerful. Powerful, man.
Yeah, and I'm like, wait a minute. So the economy, because again, we spoke before about how money, the fiat currency, is backed by our soul, by our birth, birth certificate, right? When our mother signs it. That's a whole nother podcast. But, we do not understand, okay? If everyone in the town, if we live in a small town and everyone is a millionaire, billionaire, there would be no rich people, because who would really want to get up and do the work, to landscape, to clean, to work at the register? So the billionaire thing, the trillionaire billionaire thing, is an illusion that's backed on the coercive force of broke people. Okay? So when you really look at it, family, they may have engineered a workplace. Hence, if you look at the root word for worship, it's connected to work. So the Sumerians that may have worked for the Anunnaki in that story, they say they worshipped the Anunnaki, but it's better to say that they worked for them. And what if this cult has passed down this same type of scarcity, or this workplace on earth, to where they've engineered a workplace in a world of work only so your soul could be just drained. And I mean, just, it's almost like we're just a battery source, like the Matrix says, So these are some questions. You got to think about this. Me as a technician, I'm going to fix something that's designed to fail. Yeah, I'm getting money out of it. But what's the purpose in that, though? just thoughts, Chris.
Yeah, dude, it's gold, man. That's so true, dude. We could do a whole separate talk on that alone. That's a huge subject, dude. Everything we're born into, all this training we get, what good are most of the jobs out there right now, really? Like, are they really needed? They're only needed in this fake reality, most of them. Some, not, this doesn't apply to, but most jobs, utter bullshit. Utter bullshit. And they only exist because of the fake reality.
Hmm.
Otherwise, you get into a world where we're really trying to flourish and we're really figuring out our highest selves and we're training and we're learning these superhuman powers that we have. Do you think you're going to be sitting there inspecting the inspector or building the inspection tool? That's your job. Build the inspection tool to inspect the guy and make sure he's doing his job right. And if he's not, you fine him and the government makes money. Like, everything's meant to feed these parasites, dude. Like you said, all these jobs are meant to feed them, and not just feed them with money, of course, like you said, feed them with our energy, because then they suck that energy out of us, that workforce, that life. And people are proud of that shit too. Like, yeah, I'm a blue collar, I'm proud of my job and I build cars or whatever the fuck you do. And I'm not trying to mock people. I mean, it's hard work, man, but what's it doing? Why are we still driving cars that use filthy oil from the ground when we could be using the energy from the atmosphere, electrical energy? Why aren't we doing that? They were doing it hundreds of years ago. They were doing it. Tartary, look it up. It existed. It did exist. I don't know how that went away. There's a whole other number of podcasts right there just on Tartary. Holy crap. Man, we've been lied to. But this society, like you said, what we've been born into, this construct is set up, and we are harnessed to it. We are brainwashed to believe in it, and not just believe in it, but to promote it, be proud of it, and pretty much laugh at people like us who are calling it out for what it is. It's a fake reality. It gets us nowhere. It keeps us mediocre
Yep.
human beings. Nothing. We're nothing. We're not even scratching the surface of our abilities. And it's not some, oh, I want to fly around, it's not some bragging thing. We're meant to figure out what the hell we're here for. But the vast majority of people never figure it out. They never even know. They never even know to look for something else. I mean, they work their ass off. They're so freaking tired by the end of
Yep.
their X number of years working. And you were saying 40 years, and I was adding up in my head. Like me, I started when I was 14 working masonry, and I stuck to a lot of construction type jobs till I was in close to 20, and then I joined the military, learned how to forecast weather. But um, all that work, let's just say you start when you're 18 and you go until you're 70. That's 52 years, right? Um, and then what do you do when you're 70 years old? You're tired. You're usually in poor health. And even if you're healthy, you're going to go collect seashells for 15, 20 years. 20 if you're one of the older people, 20 plus. Collect some seashells, live on the beach, talk about politics, talk about the useless crap they throw out there, do an ice bucket challenge. If you're a little more energetic, you'll do one of those silly things that they put out there and people fall for. But you're still dumb. You're still ignorant to almost everything that really matters.
And Chris, is everything is you're right. Just so we don't listen to that inner voice, that inner expansion that's
Yeah.
taking place. It's so we just cloud it out and shut it out. What they did was they filled in the blanks. They
Mm.
filled in the blanks. They didn't allow us in our intuition, our original language. All of that has been co-opted. And now, when you see, just like how they're engineering technology to fail so that we could be technicians and go out there and fix it and then come back. And what it is, it's like You ever seen a hamster running a wheel? Okay. Or you running a treadmill. And that's what the economy represents. Because that documentary on the light bulb that's still burning up to this day, over 100 years. If all of us had light bulbs like that, we would only need one. If you had a room, you would need one light bulb for a whole lifetime. A whole lifetime. You didn't have to go to the store to constantly buy it, you know. So when you really look at it that way, that opened my mind to wait, because I was a technician. I'm a trader now. I work from home, but I worked in the AC field and I did automation, building automations. I worked in construction. I worked on a $3 billion job in Miami. And the amount of times those controllers went bad constantly, bro, I was like, this shit don't even make no damn sense. Yeah. It don't. I just put you in like a year and a half ago.
Or it does make sense.
I mean, to them, you know, but when I was thinking like, yo, like everything is this plot, and these entrepreneurs, this money scheme that people are buying into, all right? It's almost like when I see someone that, and again, I'm not saying money is evil, but I'm saying for people that worship the dollar and they don't think connected into their soul, the problem is, even when I look at my people here on the island and people Black Americans that I meet, people I've been around, it's almost like money is a possession. It's not a tool. They don't see money as a tool. They allow it to possess them, you know? And in this possession, you are telling me, just for example, if you're engineering something to fail, then you like the perpetual idea of slavery, of using the common man and woman and their coercive force to enjoy your luxuries. Okay, we could talk about the Chinese factory workers and all that stuff. So it's to build integrity in this world. It really takes some deep self-introspection. And remember, Chris, one of my elders that passed away, I told you, the last thing he said to me on his deathbed was that they want you to stay mediocre.
Yes.
Okay. They want you to stay human, but you got to become something much greater than that. And I'm realizing it's not a process of becoming family. It's allowing. You are already that. You don't become. That's mind. Because if you're saying I have to become, you're saying that you're not it. You are already that. It's just all of the things that they download into our subconscious body, all of the things that they downloaded into our economic platform. They destroyed the family unit. Even having just a male-led families, the whole thing about feminism. Again, feminism did bring good, but I'm talking about the way that they co-opted feminism, okay, to destroy male-led families. And again, this is not, again, I do not believe the world is female-dominated or male-dominated. It's both. It's male and female-dominated. It's a balance. It's a balanced family that we have to find within ourselves. You know, and all of this is still the keys to immortality. All of it.
I would say it's parasite dominated, and that we would see the natural, and we would see the natural progression or the natural order of things if we got this construct. When we get this construct out of the way, then you will see real men and real women at work and what they bring, because we're not seeing that right now at all from either side. I see mostly when I'm out in public, yeah, dude, I just see a bunch of whipped people, man. That's what I see. It's really sad, and I don't want to dwell on that because that's a temporary thing. And that light bulb, dude, 100 years, maybe it's not a lifetime bulb, because when I live to be thousands of years, whenever I feel like dying, I don't know if that light bulb's going to make it with me. Maybe it will. Who knows? Don't
Yeah,
know.
you know, and even here, like I'm actually going to share this here.
Wait, this is monumental. This is monumental. Are we about to have some screen shares and stuff going on here? Oh,
Yeah.
look at this. Oh, dude, we are stepping it up. Holy. Oh, I like it. All right. Anyways.
Yeah, yeah. You know, you brought up Leonard Orr, you know, and
Ah, yes.
family. So there are references, okay, to we have about immortal yogis that live in the Himalayan mountains, like Mahavatar Babaji is a kind of a popular one that we know of. Even Imhotep in ancient Egypt, they say that he's immortal. He didn't die. We also have Leonard Orr, and in Burma, remember in Asia, when we spoke about Burma in Asia, where they had this quote unquote cult and this conduit for contacting immortals. And again, these were spirits that were human beings, okay? At one point, they were human beings, they transcended. So it's, and look at what this says here. It's really interesting. Basically, physical immortality means victory over physical death, right? It means body and mind mastery. Our spirit is already an immortal master. So check it now. I just said that you are already what you seek to become.
Hmm.
Reality, and this is what I put in my book, reality is an involution. See, understand, in order for evolution to take place, involution had to take place first. So for example, we have the acorn tree. We have the oak tree. Then the oak tree involutes itself into an acorn. The acorn drops. And then in the acorn is the precursor energies, the archetypal signatures for it to become the oak tree again, or a different expression of the oak tree. Okay? So again, even a tadpole, a psychic could look at a tadpole and see the morphogenetic field around the frog, okay, around the tadpole, and it would look like a frog, basically. So they could see the morphogenetic field of the frog surrounding the tadpole, meaning it's already within its archetypal design to become that frog.
Wow.
So again, when we talk about evolution, it means that you already have these precursor energies involuted into you. Now, what makes sense that happened on Earth was it's the precursor energies, the cosmic process that brings us forward to the superhuman, to the immortality, to engineers, to geniuses, has been hacked, okay? And so they re-downloaded things into the biological computer, because this is a technology, okay? This is a technology. And basically, when we talk about the ancestors are within the harmonics of your blood. They represent the precursor energies that are in you that guide you to become that which you already are. Okay? So it's just safe to say that, again, this is why in my book I talk about self-acceptance. You already have to accept that you are already that. The same way that they look at a tadpole and see the morphogenetic field of the frog or toad. When you look at a human being, it's this divine spark of unlimitless potential. Okay? Yep.
Yeah, man. There's already a space made for what we're supposed to be, for what we are, not supposed to be, what we are. The space is already there. It's already made. It's just we have to remove the conditioning that we've been handed purposely to keep us dying. Do you really think that the people that run this show would be able to pull this bullshit off right now that's going on if they had 300-year-old plus people walking around that knew them? I mean, come on.
Hell no.
Hell, dude, even guys that are somewhat wakened to the bullshit and are like 70, 80 years old. That's why they're all grumpy. Oh, grumpy old man. That's why you hear grumpy old man, because once they realize that everything's fucked up bullshit. Sorry, I said I wasn't going to cuss. There I go, blasting off. Once they realize, they become grumpy old men because they can't do anything about it. Nobody else around them cares. They're all having birthday parties and celebrations and, not paying attention to silly, mindless garbage. And so that old dude's just sitting there like, oh my gosh. But man, you get a whole society filled with people that know what's going on, and they don't just sit there and go, oh my gosh. No, they're just living their life and waking people up, and there's no violence, there's no nothing, none of that's needed to change this conditioning and to change what's going on. What needs to be done is, en masse, people need to ignore what's going on after shedding the conditioning, and not haplessly manifesting what these guys want us to manifest by watching their shows. And people think they're waking up to some of this stuff, but really what a lot of it is, these YouTube channels, Gaia channel, I could do a whole podcast on that one. They're giving you some true information, but they're leading you down the wrong path to actually make a difference around you, because it's really all about you. It's all about Mark. It's all about me not changing, but becoming who we actually are. And then nobody has power over you anymore.
Yes. Aligning yourself with the archetypal design. And you said something when you said shedding the conditioning. Hence, listening to you and listening to Devon, Black Airbender, he said he shedded skin almost like a snake. So the shedding, family, is also a physical thing that takes place. The sorcerers know every time we think, we create an atom, bending quantum material. Okay? The thought forms that jacked our avatar change the little microscopic little creatures we call cells and their function. Okay? So initially, what is meant to empower you, you have now inverted and enslaved you. Okay? So, let me just read some of this off, Chris. It's really interesting.
Yeah. Dude.
So, okay, our spirit is already an immortal master. Okay? This simple thought of physical immortality makes us realize that although death may be popular, it is not inevitable. Physical death is optional. The whole purpose of Jesus Christ, let's just say any energy master, was to teach us this. But Jesus was not the first nor the last human to conquer death. The Hebrew Bible is about 5 main immortal humans: Elijah, Moses, Melchizedek, and Enoch. In the beginning of Bible history, everyone lived 500 to 1,000 years. India has its immortal yogis. Every continent has its favorite immortals, including Native Americans. I've made this one of my favorite research projects for 37 years. Why do Christians die? Why? If Jesus died to save us from sin and death. See, so they negate you from your own experience, and they give you a secondary experience, a vicarious experience. That's what they do. So the founders and heroes and heroines of most religions who conquered death do not have a local address on planet Earth. So you hear that, family? Okay? Now, family, I just want to say this. Your energy body, which is your soul, your electromagnetic field, the Taoist masters and the Qigong masters know, again, this all came from Africa before it even hit China, just putting it out there. They knew that you could cultivate your soul body. The Egyptians call it the Ka body, which is the vehicle that the higher self used to descend down into matter. But the goal is to ascend and bring the body with you, the physical body, which is almost like a baby. Because remember, the physical body is projected from the energy body. So there is a body that exists that projects out what we see as the physical body. Meaning, again, the physical body that you're using is the end of a projection. At the end of that projection is you utilizing and using this physical body. But there is an energy source that is projecting that out. So I'm saying this to say that there is no science of the avatar. The only science of our physical avatars is based on a collective agreement. That's it. So the pharmaceutical industry, the science that they're studying is based on the mind-controlled trauma that's been placed all over the earth. And this is how our bodies react to the way we think. But because it's so popular, we believe that this is human anatomy. There's really no such thing as human anatomy. It's all based on collective agreement. It's an agreement programmed in the subconscious body. One of the most powerful things the human being has ever been given was the power of adaptability. You see, even you look at Eskimos, they eat a certain way. The Caribbean eat a certain way. The Europeans eat a certain way. Our bodies adapt. And that's a superpower that we have. Now, the question is, are you being entrenched in the earthly plane? And for example, is your DNA being reconstructed from the outside in to physical conditions? But to the yogi, the immortal, their DNA, they are constructing it from the inside out because they've built the energy and power from within to rebraid and reawaken certain DNA strands. So when I learned about the immortal yogis who do, I was so excited I couldn't wait to meet them. Since my first trip to India in 1977, I have met over 8 immortals who each have maintained their body for at least 300 years. People have to be at least 300 to qualify for my research. I know of many more that I haven't had a chance to meet yet. I've met several who are over 2,000. You hear that? There are yogis who have maintained the local address on planet Earth for over 2,000 years. So family, where are we getting these cultivation practices from? Think about it, right? We have breatharians on, like for example, we got Elatom Elamine, we got certain people on Facebook. They're just 20, 30 years on the practice. Mm-hmm. But what about someone that's over 1,000 years? What has he learned from trial and error? And then you think they appear to a few human beings on earth as disciples, and the disciples are the one that go out and spread the message to humanity. Hence, like Kriya Yoga. They say Kriya Yoga came from an immortal called Maha Avatar Babaji. They say an immortal taught that, Kriya Yoga, to help with the collective consciousness of humanity. So this isn't a belief. These are just like how you, for example, when you're going to apply for a job, they make you an apprentice and you learn under someone that's been doing it for 20 to 30 years. Now that person is not smarter than you. They're just more familiar. They're more familiar with the skill set. So they guide you and they show you the ropes. It's the same with all of this sacred knowledge being passed on. There are human beings that are like journeymen when it comes to energy cultivation. And they appear to the right set of humans, okay? Whether it's in dreams, sometimes it's in dreams. And they will show you the way, or at least help you to say, hey, do this, do that, sit this way, put your hands up that way, breathe this way. I know someone, when they were 5 years old, it came to them in a dream. And they've been cultivating ever since.
Yeah, okay. I think it's interesting too, the conclusion here that he concluded. He said that the reason people do, and we both see this all the time, he's concluded that the reason people don't like to know about this is because it involves a little spiritual, well, I would say a lot, but it involves spiritual work and personal changes. And yeah. Dude, it's work. It's not comfortable to break out of this conditioning. It's not. It's very a lot of things have to die inside you to get you to the point of really manifesting the real you, all of this conditioning has to die. And all this conditioning was set up to be really comfortable. And I'm going to give one little example here. And this is one example. When people get a certain, or they're told, or they're diagnosed with a certain disease, or their kid is diagnosed with a certain so-called disease, there's always a group for that disease. Trying to think of what's a popular one? MS, multiple sclerosis, or something like that. There's always a group. But what happens when you overcome that? Well, you might have been a member of this group for, let's say, 5 years, 10 years. I don't know. You made all kinds of friends. Your bond was that disease, that so-called disease. And now you actually, to get out of it now, you not only have to get rid of the disease, you have to go through the pain of not having anything in common with these people anymore. And this goes with religion and all kinds of other things, but they make sure that it's tough in every way to break your conditioning. You're part of a club, you were hanging out with these people, they were your best friends, and all of a sudden, oh, hey guys, you know that major bond that we had all these years? Well, I don't share that with you anymore. So that's going to die. And it's painful. So some people really, if they hear opposing information, well, hey, guess what? You can get rid of that with fasting. Wait, you mean I can get rid of my friends and everything I've known for 10 years and feel like I'm dying? They make sure it's really tough. There's a club for everything, and people want to stay in that club.
A cult, 100%. Cults are everywhere, and it's like you see how these different thought forms that embody into groups, they're like egregors, and it's almost like that thought form siphons away your spiritual energy. You could call it a demon, or whatever. But it's important to note too that, like you said, Chris, notice the Bible says you have to be born again. All right. It's a whole rebirthing that takes place. To be born again means a death took place, a different type of death, not a subconscious death, but a conscious death that you allowed to take place. So let me continue here. Good stuff though. All right. So after teaching the truth about physical immortality for over 30 years, I've concluded that the reason people don't like to know about it is because it involves a little spiritual work and personal changes, as you said, right? Yeah. Physical mortality is a natural result of a mind filled with wisdom and aliveness. The three basic causes of death are ignorance, emotional energy pollution, poor diet. Therefore, to master death, you have to do three things. Master the idea of physical immortality, which involves living from spirit, our natural ability. 2, unravel our own death urge, which we receive from our parents, and encourage all the people in our environment to do the same. Learn how to keep our energy, body, and emotional mind clean and balanced through spiritual purification practices. This is what the holy books were talking about, family. Spiritualizing your technology, okay? Which just simply means, just like how we upgrade the iPhone, you upgrade in the technology, right? 3, learn the power of nutrition and fasting and the other simple pleasurable habits that give us body mastery. Becoming a vegetarian is basic. Mastering spiritual practices is less difficult than living a miserable life that leads to the grave. So true. In fact, true spiritual practices are the ultimate pleasures and enrich all the pleasures of living. As I studied the lives of my immortal yogi friends, I began to realize that becoming an immortal yogi is not difficult. It just takes a different focus. People die because they kill themselves. Ooh. Yep. The greatest enemy of mankind has been and always will be ignorance, self-denial. And the most evil form of ignorance is self-righteousness, thinking we know enough. Self-righteous people are murdering their own natural ability and are guilty of murdering the natural ability of everyone around them. It is the sin of eating of the fruit of the tree of knowledge and naturally yields the personal doom of death. The Bible says, God is not willing for any to perish, but that all should come to a knowledge of repentance. Repentance means to change your mind. It means to rethink, family. Okay? Repentance.
Repent.
Yep. Redo. Repentance is neither difficult nor unpleasurable. In fact, it is exciting, inspiring, and produces pleasure, bliss, and ecstasy. If God made the path to eternal life difficult, she would be a sadist who has doomed us to eternal misery. The only thing difficult about it is giving up your addiction to misery. Changing gives us the immense satisfaction of accomplishment.
Mm-hmm.
Whew, whew, whew.
You know, movies help keep us in that thought process also. I mean, they tell you what to think, they tell you what to wear, eat, everything, and all of it goes against your spirit. All of it.
Bro, and again, programming your subconscious body.
Mm-hmm.
Programming it. You know, they know that the physical body ain't really alive. It's an animate force of a energy body. So
Right.
they know once you download that subconscious body, then they change the way it's being animated. See, people, this is, again, I'm going to say it again. Your physical body is it's just being animated. Hence, animation, animal mind, zodiac, zodiac, an experiment. Okay. All right. Damn, I need to stay on fruits and urine more often. So anyway.
It's why there's a physical reality to all of this. It really is. It's spiritual, but in that process, you shed your addictions, which are killing your body and killing your possible long life. I'll get into that in a minute.
Oh, yeah. Interesting, Chris. You look at this. Look at what he says here. He says, simple spiritual purification practices like bathing twice per day, conscious energy breathing, fire purification and energy system, a conscious diet, loving relationships, and mastering a mantra are the basic common denominators of the lifestyle of all the immortal masters I have met. These spiritual practices with earth, air, water, and fire can clean the mind faster than the mind can clean the mind. They are healing magic. In the process of mastering these, we must develop a balance between solitude and service. I've written many books about physical immortality and the practical principles of conquering death. And I recommend that you read them all and use my tapes repetitively if you're interested in personal mastery, right? So, is physical immortality realistic? Yes, if we honor the following. The three basic secrets of physical immortality are: 1, to stay tuned into God, infinite source, infinite energy or source all the time, have pure thoughts about life. 2, to heal the death urge. Yep. And 3, to keep your energy body clean. So pretty much, you know, I mean, this is really interesting, family, when you see that all of it starts to make sense. And you know, there was this rap song with Tupac. I used to listen to it when I was young. I always asked my mother, if I'm learning all this to die anyway, what's the damn purpose? And the song went like this: why am I dying to live if I'm just living to die? Why am I trying to see when there ain't nothing inside? Why am I trying to give when no one gives me a try? Why am I dying to live if I'm just living to die? And I'm like, man, I never accepted it. From I was young, I never truly accepted it because man, it's crazy. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's good that you didn't accept it. Why we're talking right now about this. It's dude, I wanted to give a practical, somewhat modern example of how we're brainwashed.
Oh
And
yeah. Go
people
ahead.
might think I'm really nitpicking, okay? But I'm going to bring up The Karate Kid. So we had that movie, The Karate Kid. A lot of people have seen it. It's old. Like, yeah, it's old. You know, here I am, conditioned still, using whatever. Uh, so the main actors in that movie are Machio and the other guy who was the jerk in The Karate Kid. And I've got pictures of them when they were young, and then I've got pictures from the current or the new Karate Kid that they made, that they came out with. And my question, when I saw this, I thought, and this is when I had just learned about physical immortality, and I was looking at this thinking, okay, people's lives can be, they can make a chronology of their lives and tie in every movie they've ever seen to it, because that's the some of the biggest, if that's some of the, that's what's filling most people's heads, is the movies they've seen. And we're about to watch one today, but it's actually a good one, right? What was the name of that movie again that you were saying?
The old guards.
Yeah, dude, I'm actually excited to see it. I know it's going to have typical Hollywood BS in there, but
Yeah,
it'd
I
just
know.
be kind of nice, you know, to just see something that at least goes along with what we're thinking, even if they're going to make it look totally fanciful and not possible. Um, so here's I've got old pictures of these guys from the first movie, and then they came out with a new version, and these guys look aged purposely. Purposely, they don't try to make them look young, even though Hollywood, they're always putting makeup on, right, trying to make themselves look better than what they really look like. Well, in this, they don't try to make them, almost make them look worse than what they really look like. And it's very telling to me, because here I am. I kind of grew up in the era of The Karate Kid coming out. I saw that movie when I was young, and I'm still young, but I saw that movie years ago. And now I'm looking at these guys, and they look a lot older, purposely, to make a person my quote unquote age think, oh, that's normal. That's what we're
Yeah.
supposed to do. We're supposed to age. So they have your favorite stars that you grew up with. They make sure, even if those people have figured out immortality, they're not going to show that on the screen. They're going to make sure you see the aged version, because that's what you are. That's what they want you to be. They're never going to show you somebody. There are some actors that do look young for their age, but for the, for the most part, they're not going to promote this by letting you. And let me just give you, I'll just show you, if you want to switch over, I'll just show you the example of these pictures I have
Oh,
real quick.
awesome. Okay, you're the host.
I am the host. Do I need to click on anything?
Yeah, you want to share your screen, right?
Ah, yeah, I do. So, share screen. Okay, here we go. Get that one. Okay. Are you seeing it?
Yes.
Okay. So there's Machio as the Karate Kid. And it's kind of funny. I left this search up, Karate Kid asshole. I couldn't remember his name, but I knew he was the asshole in the movie. So I just typed in Karate Kid asshole, and
Yeah.
there he is. Anyway, so that's him then. And that's Machio back then. And then you go to the new one. Here's that guy 30 years later or whatever it is. But look at him in the movie.
Mm.
Why not make him look like this? Nah, got to make sure that dude looks old so that the people that are watching the series go, yeah, I look normal.
Hmm.
I'm aged. How much makeup does it take? Probably not a whole lot of makeup. They might even have put extra makeup on him to make him look worse. I don't know. I was struck by that a bit, though. I just thought, man, they really want to make sure that we think they're old looking, because this guy looks older here than he does here, for sure.
Programming the subconscious body, right?
Yeah, dude, it's all programming. And this is just a tiny thing, but a lot of people's lives have been based around just watching movies like this.
Mm-hmm.
And they get conditioned when they see these guys aging. They're like, oh, okay, I'm normal. This is normal. But it's not normal. It's not normal to age. Um, I did a post on these cells, these cells that were taken from this woman in 1951. Let me pick the right link here real quick. I had it up. Yeah, I'll pick this one. Yeah, so basically, this lady was dying of cancer, cervical cancer, in 1951, and they took her cells in 1951. So we're talking basically 70 years ago, and this lady's long since passed. She did die in 1951, but her cells are alive right now. And not only are they alive right now, but they've multiplied over and over. So her cells, there are billions or trillions, I don't know, all over the world in research centers. And who even knows what they're researching? The only thing that they're going to research, though, I know this, is whatever is going to make them money. They're not going to come out and tell you that apricot seeds kill cancer because they're dirt cheap. Or, hey, just fast, you can get rid of your cancer. Um, so this lady's cells are alive. And in fact, the people that are handling these cells, the doctors, the researchers, they're all saying that these cells are immortal because they keep reproducing themselves. In fact, X number of cells will reproduce X number of cells in a span of 24 hours. They replicate. This is what our body does when there's no food, salt, conditioning, belief systems in the way, stress, whatever else. I mean, you don't have to be stress-free in life, but I'll tell you, man, when you live in the now and you really know what you are and who you are, the stress levels are next to zero. They're really, I'm not going to say there's never any, because things happen in life sometimes, but really the stress levels are next to zero when you live in your power, when you really know what you are. So your cells are meant to do what this woman's cells are doing. And I don't know what age she was when she died. Okay, they tell you right here, she was 31. So, the cells they have are 101 years old. But according to the people that have those cells, they're ageless. They keep replicating brand new cells like a baby, like baby cells. So this is what's supposed to be going on in our body. So just like Mark was saying, when we get out of the way, our body will continue and it will go on and on. And when we're eating this food pyramid they tell us to eat, and even if you're eating a meal a day, same thing, your body's constantly digesting, and digestion takes up 80% of your energy. 80%. Now imagine if we're just harnessing that energy towards learning, towards progressing, towards empowering ourselves with knowledge, and when that energy is busy keeping your body alive, which is what your body wants to do. Your body wants to keep living. Your body does not want to die. It's just like this guy said, or he said, we are literally killing ourselves. And that is fact. We literally kill ourselves with our practices and our lifestyle and our thought process. So yeah, dude, it's scientific. These cells are alive right now all over the world. This lady's cells, and they are immortal. That word immortal has been used not only by these modern scientists, okay, keep this in mind, but the book Man's Higher Consciousness, which quotes the science of the day saying that cells are fed not by food. These guys are proving it. They're not sitting there, giving a hamburger to these cells. They're not even feeding them fruit or juice or anything. They just have them in a culture, and they keep living. How? Why? I doubt if they have them even sitting in the sun, man. I mean, I think the sun, I know the sun, we know the sun is purification. It absolutely detoxes us and gives us energy. But do we even need the sun? I think we just need what's around us, and maybe we don't even need what's around us. Maybe we could be totally closed off from everything and our cells would still live, because I don't know what the conditions are in these labs. Now the people walking around in the labs are obviously breathing oxygen and they're living, so maybe that's what's going on with these cells. But they have been quoted as being immortal. So this is not some quack science or some spiritual guru, Hotema, who was not known as a spiritual guru. He just was stating fact and quoting fact. The cells are immortal. That's the point. And this is proven in modern quote unquote science even now. And I'm telling you, dude, you know how this industry is. If those cells were not immortal or living or replicating, they would make sure that you knew that. That would definitely be getting out there. But I think I don't even know how this information is getting out like this, to be honest. This is a nice piece of the puzzle right here, a nice modern example. So that's what I wanted to say about that.
Yeah, definitely, bro. Definitely. It's really interesting. Also, let me share my screen. I have
Yeah, I was
this is
gonna say, let me get back to you. Let me get you back here.
because I did pull up an immortal jellyfish in the ocean that doesn't die, that lives forever.
Okay. Oh,
All right. Yeah, make me the host.
oh, yeah, let's here we go. Okay. Yeah, I won't forget this now. I'm good now. A little learning curve.
Yes. Boom. All
Yeah,
right.
you're on, brother.
Oh, pick the other mark. You pick my iPhone. Pick the other one.
Ah, man.
Yeah, because I don't have a mic for my compute for this computer. This is my like actual trading computer. So
Okay.
yeah.
Are you on now?
No. Oh no. Wait. No. Since I'm the host on my phone, I have to. Oh, I have to do it myself. Sorry.
Okay.
Okay.
Let
Since
me know
I'm
if
the
you
host.
need me to let me know if you need me to do something from this side.
No, I got it. I got it, brother.
I don't see your name. I don't see your name at the top of my screen anymore either. It was, but not
Hey,
anymore.
now you should see my screen.
Yep, there it is.
Yep. So this is the what's the name of this jellyfish? The Teratopsis dorini.
Sounds
Okay,
good.
that's the
Good.
yep, an immortal jellyfish. Okay, so I actually do have this in. Let me pull up my class right quick. Is it session 5?
What's that?
No, sorry, I have a PowerPoint discussing this in my
Okay.
in my online course. I just wanted to kind of show. I definitely think it's 1 second. Yeah, I have 2 screens on this computer. That's why I don't see my other screen. All right. Chris, this computer could handle up to 8 different screens, by the way.
Really? I'll buy 3 more computers and we can just have screens all over the place.
Yeah, I got it for, to trade with, but man, I only need like 2 to 3 screens. It ain't really that big of a deal. So,
Only 2 to 3.
yeah, just to trade with, with my day
Uh,
job. 1 second, family. I'm looking for it. I am looking for it. No, that's not it.
oh,
No. Okay, forget it then. So it's interesting. So this jellyfish, Chris, has the ability when it sees, like, for example, a predator or is endangered, it could control its sex cells, and it could actually revert back into like a seed, almost like an egg again, and then regrow itself back from a youth.
Wow.
Let me see. I know they have the process of it. And
hey, but don't forget, dude. I don't know if you saw in that story, but it said they're the only immortal creature. Don't forget that. Not you, just this jellyfish.
The subconscious. The good news is that you can be immortal. The bad news is that you have to become a floating blob of jelly to do so. Yep, there go.
Oh my God.
Yep, of course. And then you have to sift through it, right? And protect your subconscious. So they did. So this is actually how it looks, you know? It's pretty interesting creature. But they have the process. I know someone have like a pictograph of, you know?
I'm pretty sure I don't want to be that thing. Even if
it's just to kind of show that there is something out there that lives forever, you know?
Yeah, I had no idea about this.
Yeah, so just to show the family, check it out. It's a real interesting story with this immortal jellyfish and the fact that I bet you if I go to images, they can probably...
Man, dude, all I had was the Karate Kid, and you've got immortal jellyfish. This is just... This isn't fair, man. This is not fair. You're pulling this stuff out. It's like a surprise.
Oh boy, this podcast is awesome. Oh, there it is, Chris. Here it is. So, let me see if I could pull it up where it's bigger. Okay. And all right, so I'm gonna save.
Mortal jelly. Not you. You have to become jelly to live forever. Don't forget that, people.
Where did I save that?
Hey, of course that jellyfish has the ability to be immortal, but we don't. Of course. We're not that advanced, right?
Exactly.
Really?
So the life cycle here, right? Where it matures as a jellyfish, and then it goes into planula. That's the seed grows itself again, and it just replicates the process over and over. It just does not freaking die. So family, just to show that, remember, animals and animation, the animals also show us the dormant parts of us, right? That can be reawakened, you know? So, yeah. Yeah, dude, man.
I got to throw this in since you're talking about jellyfish.
You can share your screen or no?
There's no, I don't have anything to show people, so.
Oh, it's okay.
I will soon, maybe. But one thing I did want to bring up is when we are in the womb, we're floating in water. We're floating in urine, basically, for 9 months. How are we breathing when we're in the womb? And I'm really, I'm asking that. I'm saying it like I want people to think, like, how were we breathing? You're not breathing through that tube, that umbilical cord. You have a nose, you have a mouth, you have lungs. How are you getting your oxygen? And it's not just oxygen, as we know. How are you getting air and what's in the air? You're getting it from the water around you. So you were able to do that as a baby. And you're going to tell me, or they're going to try to tell me, and this is going to sound crazy as hell, but hey, most of the shit in this podcast sounds crazy anyway, so who cares? Did we lose those abilities? Did we lose the parts that we had as a baby to be underwater for 9 months and live and thrive and grow? because you were talking about dormant abilities. We come out of the womb and they smack us. It's traumatic when you're in a hospital. It's traumatic, man. It's brutal. It's brutal. They make you forget every that's part of that's the first trauma that you have is when you're born. And you forget this stuff. But how were we breathing underwater? Because you were. I'm convinced, and I haven't proven it yet. I'm going to be very careful. But I'm pretty damn sure that we are able to live underwater based on that. Because where did those parts go? Did we lose some parts? And if we did or do, you can bet we'd be taught about that. Anything to disempower us, they're going to teach you. And add lies to it to make it even more impossible, almost seemingly impossible to get back to the real you. But we were breathing underwater as babies. That's all I'm going to say on that.
Absolutely, man. It's it's getting more interesting and interesting, man. Chris, but unfortunately I have to actually head out. I gotta get on the road. I just noticed what time it is. So
okay.
Yeah, family related. So but I feel like this has been over an hour.
I think we have another podcast on this subject actually coming.
It's never gonna end, brother.
Yeah. But I wanted to add before we close here, people, if you would, you like what we're doing, I have a Patreon page. Mark, I don't know, do you have a Patreon as well?
Yeah, I do have a website. It's up. Putting my course up, and I do have a YouTube channel. So I'm going to start putting that out as well.
Cool, man. Yeah, I mean, we just do this, guys. I mean, for us, this is just like talking, but we do this, and we're trying to help people. And if you guys want to support it, Patreon. I've got a Patreon. Mark's got a way to go to his what's your website real quick before you?
My website is pathofthehiddenlight.com.
Nice.
Path of the Hidden Light.
I know we've got a lot more on this, but this is some good stuff, man.
Oh yeah. Yes, brother. Always enjoy it, just to be able to express this. And I think, Chris, that to build this movement, it's over the next decade. Watch and see. Mm-hmm. Watch and see how it will grow. It'll blow your mind, dude. So with that being said, wholeness and vibrations, peace and love, family. Hope you got a lot of value from this. And, let's just continue to shed the light,
Definitely.
All right.
Definitely.